Well, good afternoon. Wow, I realize I do wear an awful lot of hot pink. You know what? It's my favorite color. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about metamorphosing, how we change from one thing to another. But yet we've always been the same person. But as we continue to grow in our walk and with our becoming who we were always meant to be, as we continue to move our trauma aside and not use it as a death sentence in our lives, we begin to start changing. It's no different than, how God gives us the word picture with the butterfly. When a butterfly lands on a milkweed and lays an egg, that egg is a butterfly. But it has to go through the process of being a caterpillar first, kind of like having to prepare itself for the journey that it's always been on, for the journey that has always been destined for that monarch butterfly. So it goes through this process and it has to eat and eat and eat and eat and eat, and then it sheds its skin and sheds its skin, and then it goes inside of a chrysalis. And when it's inside of the chrysalis, it's changing. It's beginning to become what it's always meant to be. And what it was always from the time that it was planted on that milkweed. It's always been a butterfly. But it had to go through some dark moments of transformation. No different in our own lives is, we've gone through some stuff in our lives. But in that process, we become better versions of ourselves. We become who we were always meant to be. I've been through a lot in my life. I've had a lot of trauma. But I never let the trauma define me as a caterpillar. Just like the caterpillar cannot be defined because he's a caterpillar for a moment, because he's always been a butterfly. And when you begin to start looking at your life through the eyes of who you always were meant to be and who God destined you to be, that from the foundations of time, He has called you and He has given you purpose and He has written vision upon your heart, that you were born for such a time as this, that there's no mistake, there's no, second chances, second rate, that you were always meant to be who you are, and you are just transforming and being renewed and becoming. I just did the process of the caterpillar to a butterfly, and my butterfly has hatched. My butterfly now knows that this caterpillar once was a caterpillar, but always a butterfly. And now it has emerged into what it's always meant to be. It's your turn to emerge into who you were always meant to be.